I'm Stuart McAllister from Dole. Just to introduce Roy. Roy was actually a CIA Hyde Park graduate and speaker of his class, the top of his class. He had worked in hotels and fine dining for a number of years, and then he found himself out of work and decided to open a taco truck, and that was in late 2008. So what I derive from Papi Chulo, from Roy, is inspiration. And just seeing what he does with things that I'm completely biased to is pineapple. He has a pineapple Pac-Man named after Manny Pacquiao, and each of his dishes has a story behind it. But the Pac-Man is all three of his marinated meats in a burger, and the pineapple Pac-Man adds the slice of pineapple, grilled pineapple on there. He's currently running a chicken pineapple torta. These are all specials he runs every 2 weeks. So, he's not afraid. He's using fruit as a flavor in cooking with fruit. So there's seemingly complex dishes, but, as Jerry had shown in his slides, and also as he commented, that they're also very simple. They're just big on flavor. So what does Roy really do? Is it a roller coaster? What is he doing? I describe him more as a tightrope walker, to borrow from Ross's analogy of keeping that balance. A couple weeks ago, one of the Walenda brothers got a permit to run a tightrope 2,200 feet across Niagara Falls. And that is really Roy, because he is a risk taker without a net. He has raging waters and his environment around him, spray in his face and wind, but he maintains a peaceful balance as he confidently moves forward across that wire.
I was very fortunate at the beginning of this year to go to Thailand with a great group of people that are here today through Dole. While I was there, I knew it before, but it just really cemented in my life that they eat 8 times a day. 8 times a day. And nobody's fat, nobody's obese. They're looking to eat more. We're looking to eat less, it's a very odd way, very absurd and warped way of life that we've created for ourselves, where we don't want to eat, because we don't want to get fat. It's just, I don't understand it. But in Thailand, they want to eat more. They eat 8 times a day, and they just keep talking about food. And the moment you finish a meal, you're talking about the next meal, I really believe that the root of everything is flavor. And I'll show you some slides later, but I believe that because it's not something we really focus on every day as a popular society. We've rounded out our flavors so much in our diet. They're inundated with salt, sugar, corn syrup, and fat, to where we, in many cases, don't even search for vibrancy or delicacy or things that challenge us. We want things that just satiate and comfort us. What if we introduced more herbs and spices and aromatics to our cooking and purees? It's just as easy as the things we're doing now. It's just exploring and going out further and maybe tapping into these immigrant families and societies that have come in to offer us not only hard labor, but offer us culture and the food that they come with. Because what happens is if you put these spices and these herbs in your food, and if you develop a more complex flavor profile, what happens is you don't eat as much. With these round flavors, you have to satiate your stomach, and you have to eat more because, again, I believe this is my scientific study, is that the flavor, because it's lacking in the complexity of flavor, you have to feed yourself more in order to fill that empty void. Versus filling a bowl with maybe fresh herbs and a beef broth and some noodles, like I'm talking about pho, if you guys all know Vietnamese pho. You don't have to eat as much because there's so much vibrancy and depth and spice within that one little bowl that the amount of food you're eating is actually maybe 40% less, 60% less of what you would normally eat on a daily basis, but you're just as full because the vibrancy just piqued everything within you, not only your physical body, but your spirit as well. There is an amazing appetite out there on the streets of America and in the homes of America and in the suburbs of America. But we're only giving them so much. as professionals and as the industry leaders. We're only giving them options that don't meet their demand, okay? These kids are 10 times smarter than we are, okay? They're moving 50 times faster than we are, and we're giving them stuff that's 40 years behind. If you make something delicious, and again, that goes back to flavor. If you just make it delicious, they're going to eat it. And then so stopping people on the street and giving them a taco that's filled with all of these ingredients, maybe consciously they don't connect to it right away, but what happened was their soul opened up, and they felt it. What I want to leave you with is we have that here in America. It's just we're not giving it to them, okay? And the only people that could give it to them is you guys, you know? I'm just a taco truck. But you guys are what they eat on a daily basis. So what I want to learn from you is how can we take the first baby step of maybe still doing the things that you're doing, whether it's whatever format it is. I don't want to call anybody out. Whatever format it is, but maybe removing one item and replacing another. Maybe removing something that is chemical and replacing it with something that is natural. Or removing one repeated flavor and replacing it with taking a chance and repeating it, or replacing it with something that is coming from a different place or that's more exciting. See, it's not going to happen in our lifetime. I can guarantee you that. But we're all still here right now, though, so we can at least make a certain shift. Kogi already made that shift, and so, the door's wide open.